It is currently 1:22 p.m., Saturday, October 25th. I am at 1820 Union Street, San Francisco. And I would like to lower the camera angle to speak about cycles, systems. I want to speak about the legalized torture. I want to speak about our stories. I want to speak about the silence, the detachment from having to change anything in this world, and the dream of becoming the world that changes everything. The sun was highest in the sky at 12:53 p.m. today, and that is usually my North Star, though I often forget about it. And that North Star symbolizes to me as the ability to share my highest light, my brightest light, my most expansive light. And so, on the last day of the weekend of the month, on the weekend of the last of the month, the last week of the month, I think it should be dedicated to nature. Some people might say, oh, it's dedicated to certain laboratories and testing certain ideas, formulas. But I want to get into my point here. The weekday, I think, is supposed to help catapult us into the weekend in the sense that it gives us more consciousness, more awareness, more motivation, more energy, more resources, more solidarity, more belonging, more unity, more diversity in the colors, the shapes, the symbols, the combinations. And I think we're in a time where we need to put or embody a different principle, and that principle honors us to get more in touch together on the internet and in person by whatever capacities we have. And there's a lot of distrust on the internet, a lot of distrust in person, interacting in ideas that might be able to shift the system without trying to actually be the only one that shifts the system. I am recording right now because I believe it would also be important for me to be in the same space, having a phone in my left hand on a Discord server. And you're welcome to invite me into yours, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, your WhatsApp, your Signal, your Matrix, your open source platforms, technology, ideas, systems. But I think the point is, how can we coordinate something together that even if we are around the world, how can we bring in a different principle in our jobs or in our home or in our community or in a different job or in a different community? How can we think in terms of humanity? No matter what class our job is, or maybe some of us don't have a job. I think we are all being drawn into the situation where we are being asked to attempt to create our highest job, even if it's inside the one that we have. And for me, at times, I've been threatened inside a job situation for complimenting people, basic statements, but they can mean the world for someone. And so jobs aren't always easy. We might have to maneuver, right? We have children to feed, some of us. Some of us have children on the inside of us that we need feeding, right? You know what I mean? But there's also an adult in the room. There are other intelligent forces, compassionate forces, courageous forces. Some of them try to trick us, camouflage, masquerade, trying to get us to use our free time in ways that isn't about raising awareness. It's about just isolating and escaping and numbing or trying to punish and hurt others. I am a part of that system, but I'm also a part of the other system. And so, at the highest point of the sun in the sky, I want to let all of you know, I want to be there for anyone on this planet who wants to see the one in their heart, in their mind. Why is my voice so deep? Okay, I'm sorry. Your voice can be very high, and you can still share the deepest wisdom. I may not be allowed to record in this space, but by taking this time in this space, I want to record another experience of a civilization that doesn't have to collapse. But even if it does, I hold in my heart that people will find their way. They will have more opportunities. They are more than the body. But if the civilization has not collapsed, that means there still are opportunities, such as typing a document and handing it to people in a place where there might be synergy, symmetry. There are people of different colors and different backgrounds and different classes. You may not always have it in your area, but I wish to share my area with you at the Civic Center Plaza and Dolores Park and maybe Golden Gate Park or other parks, Fort Mason Park. Maybe on the streets we can do something. I've been invited by some people, but sometimes transportation is hard and motivation is difficult to have and my megaphone isn't always accessible. Sometimes I'm being asked to find the megaphone through different ways. But I can talk in my normal voice now. There's a lot of... And it's so difficult for people to consider there's a certain ideal time we can meet. But I think we can all agree that we can meet at a certain time. Even if we're not on the internet or physically in person, we can show up into our own situation at a certain time with our highest capacity, even though it seems perhaps in a regular job, that's the hardest time, the most busy, right? Maybe for some of us, not all of us. Some of us are graveyard shifts, and the moon is your North Star, which can also reveal the sun if you look deep at its essence, but you have to go beyond the surface. Anyways, I've shared my point. I echo a sentiment that I will be broadcasting on all stations when the sun is highest in the sky. I have food, I have shelter, I have clothing of another world. And I may not always have food, shelter, and clothing in this world, but I wish for the people to see the choices that they have that can reverberate into this experience we call life, back to them at a certain point, back to the people of different backgrounds, that there are more ways we can learn together and teach together. How there is prosperity in the circle of life, and how there is order in the cube, in the square, so that we can triangulate a balance that shows us we can show up even by using a recording. And though it's like 1:20, right? 1:30, I don't know, 1:40 now, wherever I am, the time doesn't matter, but I'm showing up at this where the sun is highest in the sky right now. And I feel like we need a system that accounts for people who are willing to show up. And it may be hard to build the system in this time and over time, given all the things happening in the world, the choices that we made as a soul through many lifetimes, which can have momentums that are very hard, like for me. And maybe for you, you have ways of escaping, which I don't think we need to go into the details. With that being said, I would be open to sharing you my details. You wouldn't have to be willing to share yours. You're welcome if you want to. But I feel like we need to share our pain, because there is a lot of pain. And it doesn't necessarily always need to be like recorded, but this stuff does, a certain critical mass of it needs to be revealed and exposed so that people realize that like we are in DEFCON. No, we're not doing DEFCON. Yeah, I mean, we've been in a crisis all throughout history, depending on how you want to look at it. So much abuse, so much trauma, so much compounded hate and violence, psychological, spiritual, scientific, political. But I've shared my piece. There's way more I would like to share. But for now, I thank you, whoever showed up here, whether it was just for a moment or for the whole thing. Maybe this isn't what you want or agree with, but anyways. We don't always have to show our face or use our voice, but we do need to use our dark to alchemize into the next step. If we were wanting to get through this together, who is it together? Anyone who's listening. On the internet or right here, right now, in person, there are maybe other forces listening. But I take this moment to honor this spectrum. Sacred spaces like this allow for what I would consider a higher frequency formation, expression. That's all I have to say. You have my love, whoever is listening. You have my courage. You have my wisdom. You have my purity, even though it is tainted. You have my vision. You have my truth. You have my peace. You have my service. My unity. My freedom. My humanity. Iau. Iania sialamau. Ernimia salaha. Istea lamasi. Istea io. Istella salicusia mia Olarnada hayarniana Istaya liana kiosia erniarna erno iarna hasia lernime ujana ernadisa ernadiono oh 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 sia mernime ha istellarnime hi Isalarnio Kisalahi Isalala kuyani aniolaki Yori. May the world find the universal light. Ayastayar nimi via katalar nimistuyam. May we feel there is a principle, a right in our hearts to use our voice and share that brilliant jewel that reveals to others there is abundance. There is strategic solidarity in the will to share our courage and love for the universal wisdom of all leaders and institutions of all cultures, so that we may find the tear of joy. Estallarne melarne mestuyam, cuyarne staya, uyar stellarni mi via kata sartiar dustur nabar stiar nabaduya. Aya salam, cuyar neme sayar nemelar nemestuya, ayar stayar nemevi, usoya erni mana, cuya esti lamar nimitia tu.